Hi everyone, this is Mrs. Snowbeck. Today we will cover Unit 8, Lesson 3. We're going to learn how to find areas of circles and sectors of circles. And the formula for area of a circle is pi times radius squared. Pi r squared. So I feel like it's a pretty straightforward formula. Let's jump right over to number 1. Number 1, find the area of a circle with a radius 15. So the formula is pi r squared, so it's just pi 15 squared. When you type this in your calculator, be sure to use the pi button. Go ahead and practice typing that in. The correct answer is 706.86, and it would be meters squared. Will you guys please try number 2 on your own? And here's a quick peek at what I did and my answer. Number 3, find the area of a circle with a diameter of 12. Remember, if the diameter is 12, the radius would be 6. So this one is just pi 6 squared. So go ahead and type that in, see what you get. This one I get 113.097. So if I want to round it to the nearest hundredth, it's going to move from a 9 to a 10. So it's 113.1. You don't really have to put the 0 behind that. And I don't think there's a unit, so we'll just say unit squared. Number 4, find the radius of a circle with an area of 95. This time we're going to work backwards. Area equals pi r squared. The area is 95, so that's going to go in for the a. And then we have equals pi, and we do not know the radius, r squared. So to get r by itself, we need to get rid of the pi. So let's start by dividing both sides by pi. So we're going to do 95 divided by pi. And we get 30.24. So we have 30.24 equals r squared. And then we take the square root to solve for plain old radius. And if we take the square root of that answer, I get 5.499, which again, it will round to 5.50. So 5.5. And it's going to be centimeters is the radius. Number 5, find the diameter of a circle with an area of 196 pi yards squared. So area circle. Area is pi r squared. And they're telling us the area is 196 pi. So we put that in for the a. Now we want to solve it for radius because once we have radius, then we can use that to find the diameter. So divide both sides by pi to get it away from the r. A cool thing happens. They eliminate or cancel out on both sides of the equal sign. So we wind up with 196 equals r squared. Take the square root and we get a nice number. R equals 14. And since it's technically we get plus or minus 14, but since it's the length of a radius, we'll just say positive 14. You can't have a negative length for a radius. And then I guess we're not done, are we? We need to find the diameter of the circle. So to get that, diameter is going to be 14 times 2. So the diameter is going to be 28 yards. Number 6, if you and 3 friends order a large pizza from Pizza Hut, which has a 14-inch diameter, what's the total amount of pizza in square inches that you will eat if you split the pizza equally? All right, so it looks like we have a diameter of 14. If the diameter is 14, that means the radius will be 7. So area is going to be pi 7 squared. And when we do pi 7 squared, we get 153.94 inches squared. And you and 3 friends ordered it, and you're going to split it evenly. So do you divide it by your 3 friends, or do you include yourself? Yes, there's actually 4 people, you and 3 friends. So 153.94 divided by 4, because there's 4 of you. So divided by 4 ends up being 38.48. 38.48 inches squared of pizza each. Next, let's talk about how to find the area of a sector of a circle. A sector of a circle is a portion of the circle that looks sort of like a piece of pie. You can see it here in the red. And to find the area of a sector of a circle, you're going to take x over 360 times pi r squared. Pi r squared would be the whole circle, but we only want a certain amount of degrees of the circle. And x is the angle inside of that sector. You end up with 46.49557. If you want to round to the nearest hundredth, you're going to take that 49 and round it up to a 50. So it's going to be 46.50, and it's going to be meters squared. Please try number 8 on your own and unpause the video when you're done. So here's my equation, and when I typed it in, I got 7.400, so I'm just going to leave it at 7.4 feet squared. Number 9, find the area of the shaded sector. So it is not the sector with the 65-degree angle, it's the rest of the circle. So you need to figure out how many degrees is the rest of the circle. So 360 minus the 65 leaves us with 295. So that's the measure of that sector in degrees. So to find the area of that part, we're going to do 295 out of 360 times pi 11 squared. And you're going to type that into your calculator. And I got 311.497. And again, if we're rounding to that hundredth, it's going to round up to a 50. So it's 311.5, and it's inches squared. Number 10, find the area of the shaded region. Why don't you go ahead and pause the video and see if you can do the first part of this question. Figure out how much of that circle, what is the area that is shaded. All right, so what you might have figured out is this cuts the circle in half. 180 minus 130 leaves 50, so this is 50 degrees. This is also 50 degrees because they're vertical angles. And so the total number of degrees in the shaded sectors is 100. So I would do 100 out of 360, and then it's pi 3 squared. And when you type that in, the area ends up being 7.85 meters squared. Now the second part of the question says, now find the probability of landing in the shaded area. So that means, like, if I was going to throw a dart, if this was a dartboard and I was throwing a dart and it landed somewhere on the board, the dart landed somewhere in that circle, what's the probability that it lands in the shaded sector? What you do is you take the, to find the probability, we'll just do this, you take the shaded area, so shaded area, and you divide by the total area. So we have found the shaded area. The shaded area was 7.85. Can we find the total area of the circle? We sure can. I'm just going to do it down here on the left. Area is pi r squared. So for the whole circle, it would be pi 3 squared, which turns out to be 28.27. So that's the area of the entire circle. So we're going to take the shaded area divided by the total area, so 7.85 divided by 28.27. Let me type that in, 7.85 divided by 28.27. And what I get is 0.277, and I'm going to round it to a 7. So that is approximately 27.77% chance of hitting the shaded area. You just move that decimal back 2 spots to get the percentage. Last one, find the area of the shaded region. Again, pause the video. See if you can figure this one out. Unpause it when you get done. So I'm going to find the area of this large circle, and then I'm going to find the area of this little circle, and I'm going to subtract the little one from the big one, like subtract that donut hole out of the donut. So for the large circle, I need the radius out to the end. And do you see how down here we have 9? So halfway across will be 4.5, or 9 divided by 2. So for the large circle, the area is going to be pi 4.5 squared. This turns out to be 63.62. Now I'm going to do the small circle. Now the small circle only has a shorter diameter radius right here. And so see how we have 2 tick marks here and here? We're going to cut the 4.5 in half. So 4.5 divided by 2 is 2.25. And that's going to be the length of the radius of the small circle. So it's going to be pi times 2.25 squared. This is 15.90. And to get the area of the shaded region now, we're going to subtract that donut hole out. So we're going to do 63.62 minus 15.90. The answer is 47.72, and that's centimeters squared. So that's the area of the shaded donut. Now it says find the probability of landing in the shaded area. So remember, the probability is going to be shaded area over total area. So our shaded area is 47.72. The total area inside of that big circle, wasn't that 63.62? Didn't we already find that? 63.62. So go ahead and divide 47.72 divided by 63.62, and I got 0.7501, we'll say. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to move that decimal back 2 spots, and I have a 75.01% chance of hitting the shaded area. If I was going to throw a dart, there's a 75% chance it'll land in the shaded spots. That wraps up Unit 8, Lesson 3, so please give the practice a try and let me know if you have any questions. Have a good one.